Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into, well, a real corporate nightmare, but also maybe a story of recovery. It involves Davenport Innovation Creative, the huge toy company in this tiny town, Fraser Falls.
Right. And it all centers on a viral video and, let's be blunt, a stolen doll design.
So we've got internal meeting notes, personal reflections from an executive, eyewitness stuff from Fraser Falls. It's quite the mix.
And our mission really is to pick apart how a company handles a crisis when it's based on a lie versus one rooted in, well, something they actually did wrong, a verifiable ethical mess-up.
And we're tracking that mainly through one person, right? Clara Davenport.
Exactly. Her journey, her notes, they show this shift from, like, standard corporate damage control to something different, more personal. The sources really lay bare how the usual playbook just dissolves when the problem is real.
Okay, let's set the scene. Davenport HQ, Manhattan. Think glaring lights, gray November sky outside. Not a happy place.
No. And the leadership team is blindsided. Our source material mentions Clara finding 3 different social media platform links just blowing up her inbox.
And this hit differently than their last problem, didn't it?
Oh, completely. Just before this, they'd managed to shut down this AI-generated video, some Davenport toy supposedly exploding.
Right. Easy fix, relatively speaking.
Yeah, they just proved it was fake, told people how to spot fakes, and boom, crisis averted. Technical denial worked.
But this Fraser Falls thing, totally different beast. This was Florence Gerard Flo, her video.
And it was brilliant from a communication standpoint, that hook she used, asking viewers to support my small town this holiday season after Davenport Innovation Creative stole from us. Just devastatingly effective.
Davenport couldn't just say, it's fake this time.
Nope. Because, as someone inside the company actually noted, they couldn't say they didn't copy the design or hurt the town, because they did.
So Cancel Davenport starts trending.
And it sticks, because it feels true. It's rooted in their own actions.
Let's talk about Flo for a second. This woman sounds formidable.
Oh, definitely. Described as having, like, icy silver hair, bright eyes, cat-eye glasses, radiant and mildly intimidating, a total natural on camera. Someone said a Julia Child if she had been raised by Tony Soprano.
Huh. Okay. And her approach was clever, too, right? Not just angry shouting.
Exactly. She didn't even demand a boycott in the video. She used the word bullied.
Ah, that's softer, more relatable.
Precisely. And online activists, they just latched onto that word bullied and ran with it. Much harder for a corporation to fight a feeling than a direct accusation sometimes.
So the key takeaway for you listening, that authentic emotional connection. Hard to beat, especially when the company is genuinely in the wrong. A press release doesn't fix bullied.
You just can't spin your way out of that convincingly.
Okay, so enter Clara Davenport, CEO's daughter, back in PR after being somewhere else in the company.
Right, and apparently she was kind of waiting for someone to say, hey, this mess isn't your fault.
But nope. Dad, the CEO, basically says, you fix it. All on you.
Talk about pressure. And remember her earlier project? That small business program?
Yeah, what was the deal with that again?
Well, the goal there, according to her own notes, was pretty strategic. Make Davenport look less like a monopoly, make the brand more palatable.
Connect back to their own small business roots from, like, 50 years ago.
Exactly. So this Fraser Falls crisis, it becomes this massive, real-world test of that whole strategy, unintentionally.
So what's her first move for Fraser Falls?
She goes bold. Recommends a meaningful apology. Not just words, but investment or publicity or both.
Trying to flip the narrative from robbing someone's grandma, as she put it.
Yes, but she immediately hits a wall internally. Daryl Littler, Director of Innovation.
What was his objection?
Classic corporate defense mode. He argued, apologizing makes it look like we did something wrong.
The admission of guilt, fear, legal worries.
Totally. Daryl's thinking lawsuits. Clara's thinking, our entire brand is currently on fire. We need to put it out.
So a clash between legal risk and PR necessity.
Exactly. And Clara's insight, it seems, was that staying silent or denying the obvious was actually more damaging long-term than the legal risk of saying sorry.
So how did she actually put that into action? How did she plan to make this apology meaningful on the ground?
Well, once she gets to Fraser Falls, she develops this 3-part plan. It's still framed for corporate recovery, mind you, but focused on the town.
Okay, what were the parts?
1, raise profile. Get positive media attention. 2, increase visitors. Bring people in through events. 3, spend money. Boost local sales directly.
Makes sense. Actionable goals.
And right alongside that, a really crucial goal, earned the trust of the key people in town. Winnie, Melissa, Miss Celia, Wilhelmina, Dove, and especially Jack.
Jack Kelly. We'll get to him.
Right, because Clara realized for people to trust me enough to let me help them, they need to like me. She had to stop being just the corporate suit.
And Fraser Falls itself. The setting seems almost too perfect.
It really does. Described as feeling like something from a holiday card. You know, the whole cheesy holiday movie vibe.
But with a catch.
Yes. Despite looking magical, Clara arrives and finds the streets strangely empty.
Which immediately proves Flo's point, right? The town needed visitors because Davenport's actions had hurt them.
Exactly. It wasn't just theoretical damage. It was visible. Empty shops, quiet streets.
So her first big challenge there,
Yeah.
beating Jack Kelly, owner of Harry's.
Yeah, Harry's.
Uh-huh.
The handmade furniture store / cafe that had partnered on the original doll. And he's sort of the town's unofficial fixer, gatekeeper.
And there was some confusion at first.
Oh, yeah. Clara apparently thought the owner's name was Harry and that he ran a separate doll shop. And Jack, he thought she was a reporter snooping around.
Not a great start.
Definitely not. He basically told her point blank, go back to New York, take your doll off the market and leave us alone.
Ouch. Why so hostile, though? Was it just the current situation?
Not entirely. It turns out Jack had a really bad prior experience with someone else from Davenport. Felt they'd been, quote, scammed. And then later, they got served legal papers from the company that apparently just gutted him.
Right.
So there was this deep-seated history of distrust. It wasn't just about this doll. It was about the company's pattern of behavior as he saw it.
Okay, that makes sense. He represents the town's institutional memory of being burned.
Right. And his role as the town fixer, the guy people call when a raccoon's in the attic or a fence needs mending, that's important too.
How so?
It shows his deep commitment, but also this intense need for self-reliance. His friend Tommy apparently noted Jack works himself into the ground, trying to fix everything himself, wants it all perfect.
So Clara, this corporate outsider coming in to help, is a direct challenge to his whole way of operating, his pride, his control.
Exactly. It's a challenge to his protective instincts for the town.
Okay, so huge wall of skepticism there. How did Clara start chipping away at it, using that three-part plan?
Well, first step, she showed she was sticking around. Moved into Maggie's B&B after some blogger canceled because of the whole controversy.
Symbolic, but important, not just flying in and out.
Right. And then she started actually doing things, not just, allocating budget from afar. Real personal effort.
Like what?
Okay, so Miss Celia's bookstore, they had an author signing lined up, Matilda Brown, but the blogger who was supposed to promote it pulled out because of the Davenport drama.
Ah, a direct negative consequence of the crisis.
Exactly. So Clara steps in, organizes things, makes sure the signing happens and is a success, fills that gap directly. That's hitting the raise profile and maybe even increase visitors' goal on a small scale.
And then there was the stamp book thing.
Yes. The Small Business Saturday stamp book.
Yeah.
That seems to have been a really smart move.
How did that work?
Basically encouraging people to visit multiple local shops, get a stamp, maybe win something. Simple idea, but effective.
And it landed well.
Apparently, yes. Even Flo, the woman who started the viral video, admitted to Clara that the stamp book led to record-high sales for the local shops, despite some confusion about a sausage stamp, apparently.
Sausage stamp. Okay. But the point is, measurable results. Direct economic benefit for the town, driven by Clara's initiative.
Precisely. That's tangible impact. Way better than just writing a check. It addressed the core problem. The empty streets, the lost business.
And then the toy drive. That seems like a key moment, too.
A huge moment. It was for Dove's animal sanctuary. Clara arranges this big donation of Davenport toys. Corporate generosity, right?
But Jack rejected it.
Yeah. Jack said no. Basically, we don't want your corporate charity, which, is consistent with his distrust.
So what did Clara do?
She bought the entire order herself with her own money.
Wow. Okay, that is a statement.
It's a massive signal. She's putting her personal resources on the line to achieve something for the town, even when the corporate route is blocked. It shows her loyalty is starting to shift, or at least become divided.
That must have registered with Jack.
You have to think so. And it seems like Flo is maybe nudging him a bit, too. She apparently told Jack, essentially, get to know her first, then decide if you can trust her.
Interesting. So even the initial antagonist was open to Clara proving herself.
Which leads to this really pivotal moment, the emotional turning point, but it's also got this very practical, almost technical core. Jack shows Clara the original contract for the Evie doll.
The doll Davenport copied.
Exactly. And seeing that document,
Yeah.
the actual agreement, That's what broke through Clara's corporate conditioning, it seems.
Why? What did seeing it do?
Because it wasn't abstract anymore. It wasn't just PR spin or legal arguments. It was the physical proof of where the company had failed, where they'd potentially stolen IP or breached trust. It made the ethical failure undeniable.
And her reaction.
According to the notes, she cried. She realized this isn't what Davenport is supposed to be about. And she even admitted her original reason for taking the PR job back was just self-interest, to pad out my resume to climb the ladder.
That vulnerability, that must have been what finally reached Jack.
It seemed so. Seeing her genuine distress, her admission of her own initial motives, it convinced him she wasn't just some, quote, evil-looking corporate drone. She was a person caught in a bad situation who was now genuinely trying to make amends.
So trust established. Finally.
Which then allows the rest of the PR plan to actually work. The Santa run she organized.
Yeah.
Big success. Got the news crew there, which was a key part of the raise profile goal.
And that led to Flo taking the videos down.
Yes. Flo saw the positive changes, the genuine effort, the community engagement, and she publicly announced she was removing the viral videos. A huge win for Davenport, achieved through Clara's groundwork.
And the final piece of the PR puzzle.
The news article. The outlet that came for the Santa run published a piece titled "The Best Town You Didn't Know About Until Now." That's the raise profile objective fully realized. Positive, earned media directly resulting from Clara's on-the-ground efforts.
So, crisis seemingly averted, town helped, company image starting to recover. But the story doesn't quite end there, does it?
No, because this whole experience fundamentally changed Clara. She goes back to New York, confronts her father.
About his lack of support during the crisis?
Yes, but also about how he minimized her work, her contribution, especially her own history with the company she had apparently created a doll design years ago.
The Clara doll.
Right. And her father dismissed it as just a drawing that looked a bit like a doll that we now sell. Just completely devaluing her creative input and her personal connection.
Oof. That's gotta sting.
You'd think. And that dismissal, that lack of recognition from the top, seems to be the final straw for her.
And then her brother, Max, enters the picture.
Yeah. Turns out Max had already been offered Daryl's job, head of innovation, and turned it down.
Interesting.
And Max comes to Clara with an idea. Let's start something new, together, outside of Davenport. He basically says, let's do it. Let's try.
And she agrees. She quits.
She does. The whole Fraser Falls experience, capped off by her father's dismissal, convinces her that her path lies outside the family corporation. She chooses authenticity, partnership with her brother, over the established structure.
What about Jack? How did things resolve for him?
Well, partly because of Clara's influence, it seems he finally started accepting help. Wilhelmina, Dove, Flo, Tommy. The community rallied around him to manage the ongoing Holly doll project. He didn't have to do it all himself anymore.
A breakthrough for Mr. Perfectionist self-reliance.
A big one. Letting go of that need to control everything.
So Clara technically achieved the PR goals for Davenport.
She did. The crisis was managed. But her own definition of success clearly shifted. It wasn't about climbing the ladder anymore.
Flo's final comment to her kind of sums that up, doesn't it?
Perfectly. Flo says, "I'm happy Fraser Falls is getting the recognition it deserves. I'll be sad to see you go." It's acknowledging the town's win, but also Clara's personal impact and departure.
And the final. Let's call it commitment. Jack buys a house.
Right. In Fraser Falls, a house with an office, specifically for Clara, he gives her the keys on New Year's Eve.
Choosing her and her new path over the corporate baggage she came with.
Exactly. Choosing to, as the notes say he put it, fall madly in love with you despite everything. It's the ultimate validation of her authentic approach.
So looking back at this whole Davenport-Fraser Falls deep dive, what's the big picture?
I think it shows that when a company screws up ethically, for real, the standard corporate crisis playbook, it's almost useless on its own.
Needs something more.
It needs genuine, personal, boots-on-the-ground effort. Clara's three-part plan gave her a structure, sure. Raise profile, increase visitors, spend money.
But that wasn't the magic ingredient.
No. The magic was her willingness to be vulnerable, to admit the company was wrong, to use her own resources, and to actually connect with people like Jack and Flo. Committing to their welfare, not just Davenport's bottom line, that's what turned it around.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Imagine your own company facing a crisis like this one based on a real ethical mistake, something you couldn't just spin away.
And you know that fixing it requires genuine change, real connection. Would your personal skills, Your ability to listen, to empathize, to actually help be strong enough to cut through the corporate bureaucracy.
Or, like Clara, would you find that true authenticity requires you to step outside that structure, maybe even leave it behind, to really make a difference? What would you be willing to sacrifice?